Right, let's go on to the triad. So triad is exactly what you're thinking of. It's got 3 pieces to it, and let's think of it as a triangle. There's 3 components to this: psychology, physiology, and language. Now this is depicts how we feel. So we got person behind door number 1. Door number 1 is someone deeply depressed. Is the head up or is it down? It's down. Is the shoulders back or they're rotated forward? Forward. Are they breathing deeply or very shallow? Do they speak very assertively and have fast actions? Or they're very slow and very quiet? Why do we know this? Because A, we've all done it, and B, 98% of what we pick up on is body language. That's why if I go, no, yeah, I really had a good time, like, you know, yeah, bullshit, it's not congruent with my body language. It's a very tribal thing. Language is relatively new in an evolutionary context. So, with that same person, with them in this body language, so this is the physiology. For them to have this physiology, what do they have to be focusing on? Something awesome in their life or something bad? Something bad, right? So the psychology that they're focusing on has to be something they've lost, usually less lost or never. Something they've lost, someone that's done bad to them. They're focusing on something bad that's happened in their life or could potentially happen. This is the crazy thing about humans, we futurecast bad. So physiology affects the psychology, what they're focusing on. What's the language? Are they going, I love myself, God, I'm going to kill it? Or are they going, I'm stupid, why me? I'm not good enough, right? That is called the triad. With this triad, with these components lined up, focusing on something bad, slouched, which usually what you're thinking affects your body language. That's why you can tell what someone's thinking just by, if you want to feel what someone's thinking, seriously, copy their body language. See someone, you're not sure how they feel, go into the same position as them and you'll feel it. So you've got your psychology, physiology, and the language. With them all lined up the way that we have right now, focusing on something bad, saying bad to themselves, what feeling are they having? Depression, anxiety. They're not feeling great about themselves. Bad, horrible feelings, right? Door number 2, someone absolutely feeling amazing. They've just won something or they worked really hard and finally achieved it. Is the head up or is it down? It's up. Shoulders rotated forward or back? Back. Are they breathing deeply? Yes, they're moving. They're a lot more animated and expressed, just like I am now. What feeling are they feeling? Achievement, success, they feel great, they feel happiness, excitement, all these kind of things. What happens when a football team wins? What, they jump up and down, yeah! The physiology matches the feeling. And then what they're focusing on, the language is, we did it, we're great, like whatever, you know. With that triad, what are they feeling? They're feeling amazing. So, the real question is if it's as simple as that, I mean there's different shades of it, why are most people feeling very sad, lonely, depressed? Apart from the fact, if you haven't got through values, go back to that video, they're not hitting their values, their basic human needs aren't in line with where they want to be, so then their values are very hard to meet, and all these kind of things, but also everything is broken down into this triad. And they get into something called a crazy 8. It goes around, 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 around like this. On one side is anger and frustration. On the other side is sadness and depression. If someone came in and was really just sobbing their eyes out because someone's like done wrong by them, they're sobbing their eyes out, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened to me, and you said nothing, before long they would go, that's it, I'm not taking this anymore, or screw them, and they'll have a big rant, they might get angry, frustrated, and what happens, they go back and, oh, what's the point, and they'll go around. It's called a crazy 8. This is what people get caught in, because unfortunately, things that even are detrimental to your life, people get addicted to them because it's in line with their basic human needs. You know, like people get connection with themselves by smoking, you know, like, and yet get just that minute out of the day, you know, I can finally connect with myself, and they get lung cancer, right? So our human needs can really screw us up too. But we need to break this crazy 8, and how we do that is by shifting the triad. So if one of these aren't in line, they'll start to gradually pull other things out. If you grab someone that can't be bothered, and just, you know, and you make them dance stupid, and you got them to dance. Try it now. If you're at your home alone, dance as ridiculous as you can. Do like a stupid dance, like funny head movements and that. You will start to feel good. Ridiculous because you make yourself laugh, and it's not a physiology of someone that's depressed and sad. That's partly why training is great for people that have got a bit of a bad mindset. It's not just the dopamine effects that happen from training, it's also you're moving your body, you're breathing deeply, you're doing all sorts of physiological movements that aren't in line or congruent with someone that's sad. That's why power stances work. If you stand very powerfully or have your hands up like you won something and you just feel it and you even vision yourself like with a big cape on, and ridiculous. It's scientifically proven that it makes you feel good. When I was building Evolve and I was having 3 hours sleep a night and I was exhausted, I used to come down the lift with my arms up like I won something, and I used to do all sorts of crazy techniques, but I never turned up with a bad attitude or making other people feel like I was exhausted, because they needed to get an experience from that, and it would be very good if their experience was the trainer being like, oh yeah, I'm so tired, you know. So now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel in yourself right now? 1 being worst day of my life, 10 being best day of my life. On a scale there, how do you feel right now? Excellent. Now, take yourself from wherever you are, say you're on a 6, take yourself from 6, close your eyes. Seriously, do this on your own at home. If you're watching this, just like, don't even watch it till later, if you can't do this. Close your eyes and now take yourself from a 6 to a 4. Sounds bad, I'll bring you back. 6 to a 4, do whatever you have to do. Just through your own eyes, relive what you have to relive, and just go from a 6 to a 4. You might notice now, even me speaking about it, notice how your shoulders would have dropped, how you breathe more shallow. You probably dropped your head. And everything starts to get that different physiology of dropping down and becoming smaller. Okay, really relive it. When you're there, just sit there for a little bit, okay? You'll notice that the body language will drop. Okay, now shake it out. Okay, open your eyes. Now we're going to close our eyes again, and notice you probably dropped down a little bit, but you popped up a bit from just now. Okay, now close your eyes again, and take yourself from, say you're at a 5 now, bring yourself to a 9. If you're up further on, bring yourself as close to as 10 as you possibly can. I know right now you'll be like, oh geez, what do I do? Think of the one time in your life you're in true ecstasy. Whatever freaky little thing you've done that if anyone finds out, you probably get arrested. Like, no one can see it, no one's getting arrested for thoughts right now, okay? Just, or the funniest thing you've ever seen, or like the time when you coughed and farted at the same time right next to someone. Whatever ridiculous thing it is right now, relive it, like through your own eyes, see it. And notice how you're now feeling better for a start. Your shoulders are back, your head's probably come up, you're breathing differently, you've probably got a big smile on your face now rather than the loose face you had before. And just really relive it, how ridiculous thing. Like, I've once had a friend, sounds ridiculous, that we were out in the town and he went for a pee, shouldn't do this, outside, and then he went to jump a fence and caught his foot on the fence and knocked himself clean out on the floor. It sounds really bad. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I was only young, that I was rolling around on the floor, like, oh my god, he literally spunked himself out from jumping over a fence. It actually sounds terrible. But bring yourself back. How do you feel now, or how did you feel just then? Bring yourself right up, right? Now, you haven't moved. All I ask you to do is close your eyes and imagine. Once again, as I say, your brain doesn't know the difference between what happens in real life and what happens in your mind. That's why you can have a really realistic dream. You don't know you're in it until you come out. You've gone down in a scale and up, and you haven't moved. That's because you don't get happy or get sad. You do happiness and you do sadness based on what you value, what needs you're meeting, and the triad: psychology, physiology, language. Once again, as I said, these videos are just intended, it's kind of like a disclaimer, for you to get those cogs moving. Feel free to reach out and talk to me if you want to take this any further, but that is the triad.